Good morning and welcome to Wednesday, April 29th, 2020. And today we're going to be talking about Daniel's vision of God. Now, if you remember, 2 days ago we read about Isaiah, yesterday was Ezekiel, and today is Daniel. So 3 major prophets of the Old Testament revealing their vision that God gave them. So Daniel's vision of God is going to be in Daniel 7, verse 9, and it reads, I beheld till the thrones were cast down, and the Ancient of Days did sit, whose garment was white as snow, and the hair of his head like the pure wool. His throne was like the fiery flame, and his wheels as burning fire. Daniel's vision of God, the everlasting Father, is as a righteous judge. Both the white garment and the white hair symbolize the judicial purity of a judge and all the things around God. And like the other visionary prophets, Daniel's vision was just as awesome. As space allows, let us look back over the last few days at these visions of God's men in comparison. First, Isaiah had a God-stirred burden for his temple. As Proverbs 29:18 reminds us, where there is no vision, the people perish. Isaiah's vision of God was the beginning of his surrender to go to his people and serve God courageously under several kings and numerous wars. Israel's disobedience and idolatry resulted in invasions and wars with other nations. Isaiah was there to encourage them to return to God, obey, and worship Him only. Next, Ezekiel's ministry began in the 5th year of Jehoiakim's captivity, which was in 594 BC, by Babylon on the riverbank of Kibar. And that's found in Ezekiel chapter 1. His ministry lasted 23 years, all of which was during captivity. God blessed Ezekiel with several visions, many of which pertain to the end times. God also showed Ezekiel the abomination that Israel did in secret. And for that, you can read about it in Ezekiel chapter 8. Finally, we look back to Daniel, also a captive of Babylon. Daniel, a young, brave, intelligent, bilingual follower of God, grew up as a servant of a foreign king. God used him greatly, not only to keep a nation in turmoil focused on God, but even to remind us to follow God wherever we are, even if it is not the place of our choosing. And our final thought is, as the nation moves farther away from God, it must not lose focus. Psalm 46:1 reads, God is our refuge and strength, our very present help in trouble. You know, society's always saying, well, we live in different times, people have changed, times have changed, so we need to change with the times. But I'm reminded of when Jesus was talking to Peter on the seashore of Galilee. He said to Peter, I am the rock. Upon this rock I will build my church. He was referring to himself as the rock. Jesus is the rock. He built the church on that foundation. Now, if you remember, Jesus told a parable about the house that was built on rock and the house that was built on sand. The house that was built on rock stood the test of time. The house that was built on sand blew away in the storm. So just think about that analogy when you think about today's society. People are saying, well, today's times are changing, people change, the times change, we must change with them. Well, rocks don't change. Rocks are permanent. Okay? Sand blows in the wind. Sand can change locations. So if society is blowing around, whichever way the wind blows, society is going to follow. That's wishy-washy. That is not solid. That is not permanent. That is not safe. But if a society were to establish a foundation to base all of their ideals on, their morals, and their lifestyle on a solid rock foundation, it would last and it would be permanent. And God said, I am that rock. Build upon me, and you will last. So as society builds houses on sand, and society changes with every wind of doctrine that comes and goes, focus on Him, like the end of the devotion said. As society moves and changes, Keep focused on God. Keep that foundation on the rock. Don't let the winds of time and society blow you around. You'll get wishy-washy. You'll be undecisive. Stick to the truth. If you know the truth, if you stick to the truth, then every wind of doctrine that passes by, you can just dismiss and not worry about. Let the other people worry about it. People are so worried about everything now. They're running around, got to do this, got to do that. This is changing, that's changing, got to follow this, got to follow that rule. This rule's changing. It's insanity. But if you just stick to the solid foundation, the Word of God, stick with Jesus Christ. He has always been, He is, and always will be the same, never changing. He is that solid rock that you can build your house upon. And if you do, it will stand the test of time. I promise. So, those were 3 excellent visions that we were given. And no more visions. Tomorrow we're going to be reading a different devotion. But that's a very wonderful analogy how these different prophets gave us visions and clues as to what's to come. It's beautiful. It's exciting. It's rewarding. Can't wait to be there. And I can't wait to meet you there as well. So I look forward to that day. All right. Have a great rest of your day, guys. God bless you. Share the gospel with somebody. Make the day worth the while. Adios. Bye-bye.